Marshall skips away. Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now World Test champions.
Welcome back to the TGIF podcast. Thank God it's footy. It's been a couple of weeks since we last recorded. Yeah, but been a good couple of weeks. How have your 2 weeks been, bro?
Oh, mate, I've just been, well, as always, first of all, welcome back, listeners and viewers. It's good to be here, as always. I've been doing fuck all, to be fair. It's obviously one of the pros of being a teacher is the long extended summer break, so I've sort of just been taking advantage of that. I had my first day back in at the class on, was it Tuesday? I spent the day in there getting set up, and I'll be back in next week for a hopefully a cruisy intro of teacher only days. Apparently going for a kayak out down by the what do you call it, the sugar refinery, down where the sharks and shit breed. So we're going down for a boogie down there in the kayaks, which will be good fun. So but yeah, I've just been cruising, playing a bit of darts, playing a bit of golf. Managed to get out to HIAtus again about a week ago, I think it was, with Seth. He was up, so a couple of rounds in with him, which was good. And yeah, just been kind of just cruising, doing a bit of fuck all, sleeping in and staying up late and doing nothing really, which has been good. But you managed to get yourself over the ditch and get a few beverages down your throat while you were there.
Yeah, 8 days in Aussie, pretty much on the piss, yeah, every single day / night. But got to be done when you're on holiday, I suppose.
Exactly, yeah. That time of the year.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say to your activities. It's that time of the year to be doing exactly just that.
Just cruising, you know, like getting some. We've had that nice, while you were away, that nice patch of weather, like the sun was shining. Managed to get myself burnt about 3 days in a row, which is obviously not good, but it's always, you know, it's kind of always good. You know, the weather's on form and you're getting burnt in summer, and getting in 2-3 swims a day, which has been nice. So making advantage of being off and having some nice weather, which is always good. Always good at this time of the year. Always good.
But yeah, that's probably about enough from us. Should we crack on with a bit of the sports, what we're here to talk about?
Yeah, I think so. There's obviously been a fair bits and pieces that have happened over the last couple of weeks since we've last spoke with you, and obviously summer's in our distant memory now, but we've a couple of things, I guess, that spring to mind over the last few weeks.
Yeah, look, it is the NRL off season, but there's never an off season for those journos, is there? Because there's been plenty of signings coming through. First of all, Stephen Crichton to the Bulldogs. We've seen that over the last couple of weeks to month or so, ever since he came out and said he's probably not going to sign on with Penrith again, but it's been all locked in, I suppose, from a Canterbury point of view, that he's moving on there to take on that fullback jersey, and the fullback money there, I think it's about 3.3 million over 4 years.
Good money, good
money for the bloke. Good on him.
Seems to be sort of. I saw a funny meme the other day. I can't remember what the movie is. It's one of those Jim Carrey ones where he's is it The Mask maybe, and he's like, and he wears the weird suits and shit like that.
What?
He wanders in, you see him wandering in, and he's just sort of like walking in this sort of plain suit, and I don't know what the other actor is, sits there and it says Gus over him, and for him it says any NRL player, and then you see him and he tells him to fuck off, and then you see him walking in this snazzy suit and it just says Panthers players, and then Gus is just loving it. I thought that's a funny little one, but obviously a few of them moving there to the doggies now, and it's a awesome little move for them. I think, you know, we know how handy he is, and I think there'd be heaps of clubs that would have been keen to snap him up.
Yeah, exactly. It's on the one hand great for Doggies fans, sad for Penrith fans. They'll be sad to see one of their local talents go, although what a servant he has been for them in his short career so far. A couple of huge plays and grand final wins for them, so it's good on you, Stephen Crichton.
Yeah.
But, I guess the end of an era
For Penrith fans,
for
yeah,
Penrith,
there'll be some unhappy fans, I'm sure.
That team
seeing
is
him
slowly
move on,
starting to be pulled apart. We'll see. We'll see if it's just sort of a golden generation, or whether they really do have the systems in place to just produce
Keep producing
superstar after
superstars,
superstar. But look, another thing I wanted to mention, sort of in line with the superstars. I don't know if you've seen. It was about a week ago, all the players posting the, I guess, potential for a strike coming up.
I hadn't, no.
Yeah, so there's like I don't know if it's actually been resolved or not now. I have to do a bit of research after this, but it seemed like they were all a bit unhappy with a few of the terms in the bargaining agreement for like younger players and women's players and stuff like that. Just, you know, to do with guaranteed payments and stuff like that for them, and making sure that, you know, they don't have to sort of waste too much of their time. I say waste, but for them, they probably consider it a waste. You know, working normal jobs to make ends meet, just for those sort of lower, you know, youth grade, sort of reserve grade players, so they can sort of focus a bit more on their footy.
Yeah, good on you.
They're not, I don't think they're beefing about the top end deals at all. It's just sort of that. And then also the women's, I think, yeah, they're kind of struggling to get a CBA together, but who knows, could have all been sorted now. I just jotted that down when I saw it, and look, quite hectic. They were all posting saying like, if this doesn't get sorted out, we'll strike. But for now,
I hadn't seen anything.
For now, we're not doing any media. So yeah, interesting to see if they get that
I'll have
sorted.
to have a little look into it. Like I said, I've sort of been a bit switched off, so I haven't been too up to date. But it is a little bit interesting. And I think, you know, there's, you know, it's obviously hard for some of those players that are having to sort of, you know, do both, especially when they're trying to make that next step and crack it. So, you know, it would be nice to see, you know, players have the ability to put the time and effort into, you know, progressing their footy career, rather than having to, you know, sort of do a couple of little side hustles while they're going along at it, you know, and I guess, you know, take their focus away from the footy, which is tricky.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I just Googled it here, NRL CBA, and it seems, you know, within the last day, NRL and players remain a long way from peace and protracted pay dispute. So shit, hopefully that gets sorted out so we can see some footy on schedule. But I guess back to the signing news. The Tigers have announced a handy little signing there in Brandon Wakeham from the Dogs.
I guess it's an interest. I don't know how. I mean, you know, it's tough, obviously. That, you know, anyone out there that's got an NRL contract is obviously a hell of a lot better at league than I am. You know, I don't think he's the flashiest of players. You know, obviously you've seen glimpses of him where he's looked all right, but then there's, you know, he's also been, I guess, stuck in a, you know, I don't want to, you know, a tricky setup, I guess, there, you know, at the Doggies, and
came through at a very difficult time there.
Obviously coming to the Tigers, you know, and a possible changing of the guards, you know, like obviously we've managed to get some pretty handy signings over the, you know, the last few months for next year. I'm guessing he plays as like a 14, you know, there as cover for Dewey and Brooksy. I don't think you know, people are saying, oh, you know, we're in a way better position in the halves for next season than we are this year. I don't think we're any better off, obviously, having lost Hastings and, you know, picking up Wakeham. But yeah, weird one. I don't know how I take it yet. Obviously, we've got, what is that? What's the date today? 31st? No, not 31st. 3:31. 26th. So we've got a game up against the Warriors in New Zealand, pre-season game, and like
a couple of weeks time.
Yeah, a couple of weeks time, 2 or 3 weeks. So hopefully you see him have a bit of a run out there and, you know, see what he's like up against this team who I think possibly will be in like a similar end position in the ladder come, you know, the end of the season. So yeah, I think that's when I can maybe make a bit more of a judgment on how I feel about it, I guess.
Yeah, of course. I guess, yeah, we've got to wait and see, just how he fits into that Tigers dynamic. And yeah,
I mean, he'll learn a heap off Benji, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think he's shown yeah, certainly some glimpses during his time at the Doggies. Maybe it was just unlucky to come through into a team that was really struggling to even compete at times in games. Or
and he wasn't even playing
a
lot of the time playing Rezzies, and apparently Sheensy saw him play, played a couple of games in Rezzies round, and he just thought, this is a handy little signing. So
yeah, I think he could just be that one sort of breakout year away from becoming a really good NRL level half. But like you said, dominated in reserve grade, so handy if he does play 14 for a bit of impact for you, or maybe he fills in Dewey or Brooks whenever they're injured or suspended or whatever happens with them. I think could be a good shrewd little signing for the Tigs. Now,
moving to your team,
yes,
sad news, to be fair. We spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month or so ago now, I'd say. Cody Ramsey, obviously, picking up what was his illness again? I can't remember what it was.
Some gastro or something.
Yeah, some sort of gastro bug.
But super hectic.
Where is it? This will say it here, surely.
Yeah.
Ulcerative colitis.
That's right.
Don't know if I pronounced that correct, but so I think it was just gnarly ulcers, was it not? In his stomach?
I think so, yeah. So, it's shocking to see that it's ruled him out of the 2023 season completely. Super devastating for him. I guess, you always want to be playing footy, and he was sort of really looking like he was sort of becoming Hook's number one pick for the number one jersey there for us. Had a great back end of the year. A number of good games.
Had some awesome games, and obviously a pretty handy player, can slot into a couple of different positions there in that back line. And we saw when he had that sort of breakthrough season how awesome he looked like he was going to be able to become. So it is sad, and hopefully he can get on top of the health and come back fit for 2024.
Yeah, I think that's what they're saying. There's no reason why he should be ruling out footy altogether. Certainly could bounce back from it. It remains to be seen, I suppose, but a year off to look after the health, and hopefully he comes back stronger 2024. And I suppose as a Dragons fan, it's super annoying after he showed some great form there at the back and looked like he was gonna really cement that number one jersey. But I suppose if there is one positive to come out of the grim situation, I guess we'll probably be in to see a big season from Tyrell Sloan. He was obviously another one at the back who showed some glimpses, and then confidence just fell away and wasn't really anywhere near the player that we saw burst onto the scene sort of the back end of 2020 there.
Yeah.
But
I guess that is a good little plus there, I guess, that he does get that extended game time. Obviously it takes things like this, losing a big player for these other players to get that opportunity. So, it is a little bit of a shining light, I guess. Not even a shining light, but a little plus to come out of it. Because he's obviously a handy player, and it will be good to see him get that game time that he possibly deserves. Like you said, after some really good footy that he'd shown at stages there, and then like you said, not really getting as much game time last year as maybe he would have liked. Yeah,
exactly. I suppose that is the one positive to come out of it. But speaking of footy, I guess the first official match of the year is just around the corner.
When is it actually?
The All Stars match. I think it's.
Oh fuck! That's the that's 2 days after the Warriors Tigers game.
Right.
So that's also in a couple of weeks' time. So first proper game of the year, and you got some pretty stacked looking teams there. You got to say,
Yeah, I mean, awesome squads. I mean, I thought. You've got a number of guns on each side and a number of handy sort of fringe first graders that we've seen glimpses of at certain stages of their career, and a few names that I'd never even heard of before. So yeah, it'd be awesome to see them all getting out there having a hit out, because this Indigenous versus Māori games have been
Always
pretty tasty over the last
yeah.
couple of years. Obviously not of the level of state of origin in terms of intensity and quality of football, but I mean, it's two proud cultures going head to head.
Yeah, that'll be an awesome game, that one.
The pre-game, I guess, haka for us and war dance for them.
Yeah,
would be
always
awesome
good,
as
eh?
well. It was pretty loose last year.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was an awesome spectacle last year.
Yeah.
You're right. But yeah, I'm sort of scrolling through those teams there again. You know, like you said, a couple of players that you may not have heard of.
And you've got the likes of Latrell, Adokar, Nico Hines, Deli M winner, Selwyn Cobbo for the Indigenous, the Māori team, Dylan Martini Zelezniak, Waria Hargreaves, Joey Vanu.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
It's a nice, it'll be an awesome game, that one there, so that's
Big
definitely
man.
something to look forward to sink your teeth into over the next
yeah, definitely check it out.
couple of weeks' time.
It'll be an awesome game, an awesome showcase of culture as well, I guess, and hopefully they put on as good of a show as they have done in previous years, because it's definitely been running a lot better than the old All-Stars versus was it just All-Stars versus World All-Stars versus Indigenous?
That's what it was,
Yeah, I don't think many people watched too many of those back in the day, but
Yeah, this is the way to go, right?
this one's been talked about a little bit, but unless there's anything else that you've seen over the week, it's probably about us in terms of the NRL.
Yeah, probably about us in terms of the news. I guess there's nothing else really that springs to mind. I guess we take a little look at how we went a couple of weeks ago in terms of our punting.
Yeah, our tips for you. I guess, look, we're both in the positive, so yeah, overall can't complain about that. There's a few missing legs to some of those bets from the North London derby, but hey, can't complain when you go to their place and come away with a 2-0 win, as we'll get into a little bit later. But yeah, for myself, Black Caps getting the win with Kane getting the 50. That was nice to start the week off, and then Big Smith coming through at the Big Bully Boy Smith coming through at the Bahrain darts.
Yeah, so a couple there that sort of
good start for us. We're both in the positive.
Exactly, that's the way you want to look at it. We are in the positive. We have money in the kitty, and I'm thinking if a couple of the things here that I've sort of chucked in for this week maybe come off where
We're looking, quite
reckoning the big bucks.
quite good.
I'm hoping
with some of these tips later on, so make sure to stay tuned for those. But as I just said, a 2-0 win in the North London derby there. What a performance from the lads.
Yeah, how good was that? Obviously, the team that you want to be getting a win against. It's one of the bigger games of the season on the Arsenal calendar, and yeah, like you said, an awesome performance for the lads, and how good to come away with the 3 points and sort of keep marching on towards that title. And I think now, you know, we're sort of at that stage where we can start to say that sort of stuff, you know, touch wood. But you know, you don't want to be jumping the gun too early. But it is that sort of time now, and when you're picking up a win like this, and obviously the next game that we're going to look into as well, it's that time when you can start to say that sort of stuff, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. Spurs and United, we absolutely love beating those two teams, and like you said, it sort of further solidifies our title credentials. But I guess on the Tottenham game, to go away and over to their place and sort of completely dominate the game there, especially in that first half, it shows how far we've come from a couple of months ago when it was the other way around when we went there, and that was sort of the stumble the first stumbling
Yeah.
block for us in terms of missing out at the last minute for the Champions League qualifications there. But in the first half, I thought in that North London derby, it was men against boys, and once we scored the second, I didn't really have much hope for them.
Yeah, I didn't really see them
We've
being
been
able to
so
come back
solid.
from there. Eh?
So solid away from home defensively, and Saka and Eddie, I thought they were causing major problems in that game and linking up really well. And I put it down here, awesome signs, and Jesus might find it hard to get his starting spot back if Eddie continues to improve and
he's
evolve. And
on
those
fire.
were the two.
You've heard that little song, eh? That Kit is in
yeah.
the room. I can't remember what the next. Your defense is terrified, and Kit is in the room. Something like that, eh? Awesome, he is. He's playing so well at the moment. It's awesome to see him. Obviously, getting that bit of a boost in confidence, getting that game time under his belt. I think I've probably been a little bit anti-Eddie there at stages in terms of relying on him as a second choice striker, but I don't think we're in a position now where we need to bring in another striker. I think it's a waste of money for us to go out there to buy someone unless they're going in straight in there and taking Jesus' spot regardless, and then Jesus becomes that second striker or whatever it is. But I think it's a waste of money spending cash in that position, especially when we've got someone like Bellingham who's going to be coming back from loan next year. Obviously, I think he's the 6th highest goal scorer in League One this year. So it's,
I think he's the top under 21
Yeah.
goal scorer in Europe.
yeah, so he's scoring heaps of goals over there in France, and let's say Nketiah, again, touch wood, goes down with a season-ending injury or something like that. Maybe then you look to bring him back from loan or something. But awesome to see how confident he is, and to get a goal. How many has he scored in his last? Was it 7 since Christmas? 6 since Christmas, I think it was.
Yeah, it's
Something.
He's on a great run of form. I think it was 6 and 7, potentially even before that United game. So it might be 8 from 8 now.
Yeah, see, unreal, eh?
But that might not be the case. Might be 6 from 7 now, actually. But yeah, look, Saka, Eddie, Odegaard, these guys are all tearing it up. I mean, Odegaard's goal, how tasty was that one?
So good, eh? So good.
Yeah, and then the old knee slide, just like Henri in front of the Spurs supporters. It was good to see that, and that first goal for us, I thought it was a little bit hectic. Although I do have to say, Lloris, although he was an awesome goalkeeper a few years ago, I think he's a little bit past
it.
that. I don't know why there's so much sort of hype around him still. I think he's obviously a really good shot stopper, but he is prone to a clanger every sort of 10 games or so,
Yeah, he has been having
Absolute
a few sort of shockers, throughout the last couple of years.
A few years ago, he was one of the best keepers in the league. Now it's like, he's so past it.
Yeah, it is
I
awesome.
don't know what it is, but I mean, as an Arsenal fan, it's good to see the Spurs captain gifting us a goal like that.
Yeah, I think a lot of that comes down to the, it's probably me, the pro goalie, bias coming in here, but I think that a lot of that comes down to their back four. Like, I wouldn't say, when you look at Tottenham, again, and this isn't just being like, pro Arsenal and anti-Spurs, but like you look at Tottenham over the last few years, like, they're not known for being defensively strong. Like, they've had Kane and Son, obviously, and they if they're going up, they can win games 4-3, because Kane and Son have done everything, for them, and the rest of the team's fallen apart. Like, but when you look at that Arsenal team, Spurs team from 10 or so years ago, they had obviously players like Robbie Keane who could still, get out there and score those, going back longer than 10 years, but, Keane and Defoe, people like that, Pavlyuchenko, Modric, Bale. But then they also had players at the back that could do the job, like you look at players like Ledley King and Yunus Kabul there. I remember he scored a screamer against us when we lost 3-2 one year. Like, they actually had,
and all the while.
they had solid defenders. Whereas you look at that back four, like, I'm going to get up that.
Yeah,
What was their back four
I
against
think
us?
it was Sessegnon left back. I think they played 5 at the back, so Sessegnon and
Sessegnon and Doherty
Doherty.
as 2 wing backs. Like Sessegnon he's a decent player. I don't think he's anywhere near as good as he was supposed to have been by this stage.
Yeah.
Doherty, one of those buzzy signings, I think, for Spurs. Like, you know, he probably would have been better off staying at Wolves. Everyone hypes up Romero,
Yeah.
and he's decent, but he didn't look too flash against us.
Yeah, Martinelli was giving him a lot of problems.
Eric Dyer, who's, you know, I guess has been that consistent player there in terms of that defensive sort of role over the last few years for them, and then Longley, who obviously, you know, has not been able to really live up to his hype either. So, whereas you look at that, I guess that front 3 there, Kulusevski, Kane and Son, that's where you're going to be worried when you look at that Spurs team.
Exactly.
Compared to, you know, even Højbjerg and Sarr there in the midst. It's not the flashiest of, I guess, frames, or maybe not frames, like bodies to a team. You know, the heart and soul of the team is kind of not really there, and you know, you can't go through and just win it with a pretty face. So I think a lot of that does come down to that sort of, you know, defensive setup that they've got there ahead of them. But it is nice to see him sort of starting to fall away a little bit. It might be time for Spurs to possibly look into getting themselves a new man between the sticks, possibly there.
Yeah, new man
Not that I
between
care.
the sticks, but yeah, to be honest, I don't really care. I think it's awesome to see from an Arsenal point of view. But Dickie, I guess, human point of view, but yeah, who cares? Fuck Tottenham. But speaking of goalkeepers, our goalkeeper got himself in the headlines. A lot more
drama
than Lloris did. As is always the case, a bit of drama. I think first you had Xhaka and Conte screaming their heads off at each other during the game, and then obviously Ramsdale and Richarlison having a little bit of a push and shove, and then that fan, I guess, spectator, whatever you want to call him.
Bloke looked like bloody Jay from what's the program?
In Between Us.
In Between Us, yeah. It looked exactly like Jay, yeah.
He's come down and, I guess, put his foot on Ramsdale's back. It didn't look like too much of a brutal contact.
Pretty bloody full on though, eh? Like, you know,
It's like, well, you don't do that.
That's not in the job description, eh?
Yeah, it's very hectic stuff. I'm sure you've all seen it, but yeah, fuck Spurs, I suppose. And also, fuck United. They had a really good win against City coming into this game, and well, I guess before that Crystal Palace game for them as well. And people were talking about how they were going to go and beat Palace and beat us, and then all of a sudden they'd be in the title race. And yeah, we had to host them, and how good was it? Awesome circumstances to win that one in stoppage time there.
Oh, how good, eh? Yeah, really awesome.
After Palace had done the same thing, taken a point off them in the last minute there in their previous game, but
yeah, that lovely little free kick there from Elisa, obviously.
Yeah.
And then also Casemiro in that yellow card. And like you said, yeah, they had picked up an awesome win up against City, and it was kind of one of those results I was a little bit worried about happening before they come in and play us. Just because you didn't want them to get too much, too much air behind the sails.
Yeah.
Too much wind behind the sails, They didn't want them fucking boosting through us. So I think we did really well to sort of, I guess, counter that confidence that they had. And obviously, we're probably also playing that same style of football. The lads have been going out there and feeling on top of the world at the moment, the way they've been playing. Excuse me. But yeah, it was, obviously a bit of I don't want to say a weird game, but obviously stages there where we weren't looking like we had been, and stages there where you could really see, I guess, that that form that United were in, where they did, I don't want to say stick it to us, but they managed to get out there, and obviously Rashford there, getting that goal. He's been on awesome form at the moment, obviously lots of comparisons with him and lots of players at the moment, but yeah, I thought he's been really, really good. So I was real stoked the way that this one I guess, turned out. And yeah, like you said, bit of a 90th minute, last minute winner sort of thing to get yourselves the 3 points. And, you know, of all the players to get it at the moment, and Kedia, the player that, you know, lots of fans, like we said, possibly maybe not as stoked with having to be out there in the starting line. You know, he's proven to us now, week in, week out, he's managing to get these goals. And you said before, you know, Jesus might be struggling to get his starting spot back when he comes back. And really awesome. I think probably more happy with this result than I was with the Spurs result. I think United, one of those teams that I guess over the years have probably done us a little bit more damage, and it's good to get a win against them. So yeah, really happy with how this one went.
Yeah, it was like you said, started off with a bit of a shock with a bit of a rimmer really from Marcus Rashford, who just keeps on scoring. But how good was it for Eddie to bag another 2 in that game? Like you said, he just keeps getting better and better. And like you mentioned, it probably wasn't too, I don't want to say happy, but confident with our striking options. Once Jesus went down, we're probably looking to sign another forward there. But the way Eddie has, come into it since the World Cup there, I think 90% of Arsenal fans had the same thought process. We need to sign someone, and about 3 or 4 weeks later, they're saying no, just put the money elsewhere. Like, Eddie's good to go. He'll fire us towards the title. We just need to strengthen maybe a little bit of depth elsewhere. But how good was it for Eddie to bag 2 there after I think it was like 83rd minute. He had a really good shot saved from De Gea, but thought he might have had his moment to win it there, but turned out he had it 91st minute or whatever it was.
A little back heel turny finish, a little bit chirpy, I guess, you know, like
it actually looked like a tough finish to get your leg up there like that, but I suppose all he had to do was touch the ball and it was in. And I thought overall, apart from maybe a couple of moments in that game, we always looked like we were either going to get the win based on the performance, and then maybe thinking in that last 10 minutes or so, if that goal doesn't come, the worst that we can come out with is a draw, because United are just holding on here. But they didn't.
I would have taken a point as well, you know. So
in hindsight, and before the game, I would have taken a point, but like second half, we were completely parked down in there, like 18-yard box, not even their half. Definitely deserved to win that one, I think. I guess it's unlucky for United. They didn't manage to hold on, but again, who gives a fuck about them? We love it as Gooners over here. But it's probably about it for the United games. I'm just having a quick scan through here, but leaves us halfway through the Premier League season, 19 games in, 50 points on the board.
How good, eh? How good. It's on track for 100.
100, which was Man City's record, or Liverpool's?
No, Liverpool got
98, 99 that year.
Liverpool brought up the 100, didn't they?
They might have brought up the 100.
In EPL season.
I think 100 is the most.
100 points City.
Man City, Liverpool were 99.
Liverpool had like...
Liverpool 2018-19 came second with 97 points.
That's right. But then they had that period in that space there where it was like, I think they won 110 points over 38 games.
Right.
Through a stretch or something like that. I think it was like it was 38 games unbeaten, and it was like 2 draws and 36 wins. God, that's bad math. Is this what I saw today? No, I don't know where it is. I saw something today about it, but
crazy.
On track for 100, that's pretty bloody awesome, mate. We'd take that any day of the week. But I guess we've got other competitions to look forward to as well, and obviously one of those being the FA Cup, and that's our next game as we look towards City. Big test.
Yeah, the FA Cup fixture up against Man City. I think it's a good chance to sort of see where we're really at in terms of those title winning talks, because look, I suppose everyone is sort of expecting us to drop off at some stage, except if you listen to what Pep Guardiola is saying in his press conferences. He's expecting us to continue, and I'm sure the lads internally are expecting themselves to continue, and I think there's a few Arsenal fans that are really starting to get on side now, and yeah, it's a really good chance to go and test ourselves against the team that everyone is saying is better than us. But yeah,
I mean, yeah, like
got a chance to prove that maybe we are better than them this season.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I mean, if it's one of those games that we lose for the sake of continuing our form in the Premier League or something, like maybe resting some players, I don't know what the plan will be.
But
I don't think
there's no game, so it's on Saturday. And
got a huge break, yeah.
Yeah, we haven't played since last Sunday.
The weekend, yeah. So.
And then we don't play again until Sunday. So there's 8 days after this, so I'm pretty sure it'll be
full strength. Yeah.
Full strength.
But I mean, if we were to miss out on this one, and give City the 1-0 up here in terms of rather than in the league, I'd much rather it be here. But if we could continue through, I think we're going to have to be really up to it. Obviously, I don't see any reason why we can't do it. As a true Gooner, I think there's no reason, especially at the moment, that the way we're playing, that we can't go out there and get a win. But it's going to be scary watching Haaland play. He's going to be obviously the main threat there, but whether or not he can manage to, or we can manage to keep him quiet, I think will be a huge part of the puzzle and getting that win and getting to the next round.
Yeah, I mean, what a defence. Our defences have been awesome this year, but I don't think anyone could, I guess, say that they've dealt with Haaland sort of super effectively. He's had his games where he hasn't scored, but yeah, he's definitely a threat up there. And what is he, 25 league goal, 25 for the season or something?
25 in 19 games,
yeah.
4 hat-tricks in 19 games, it's pretty fucked.
So I think, takes him already a third of the way to Aguero's record of 12, so whether he breaks that by the end of the year, who knows, especially if Man City are on a charge for the title. But what a confidence builder it would be to be able to go up there and even if we're not able to beat them, to even just come away with like a really good performance and sort of come back from and sort of talk amongst themselves.
Don't want to replay. I tell you that. I definitely don't want to draw in a replay. That's going to suck.
But if we lose 3-2 or 2-1 on a defensive mistake or something like that, a loose moment, and then come back and say, boys,
Arteta will be able to find out where we've gone wrong, and
we played really well
for the next time we play them.
Because I'm the same as you. If it means we're trading up 4th round FA Cup exit for 4 points, maybe even 3, I'd take from our 2 Premier League fixtures up against City. I'd take it because they'd go a long way for A, belief, and B, mathematical chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if we can compete with City in this one, there's no reason why we can't do it when the 3 points are on the line in the league. So come on the arse. Now,
exactly.
Yeah, we've done some very, very similar tips here.
Yeah, I'm looking now. I mean, like I said before, trying to get a little bit of value out there now. Obviously, both back in the arse as always, so we've both got them there to win.
Just a plain straight Arsenal to win. That's coming in at $4.40.
4.40. So thank you. We'll take that. And now we've both gone for the same bloke here. Now, Odegaard, obviously, Captain Fantastic. He's been in some pretty solid form at the moment. Now, I mean, whether or not this one comes off, it's one of those bets that you sort of just kind of you're throwing your head in the ring. Yeah, I don't really know any other analogies that really go with it here, but you're throwing your hand in the ring. You're trying to
a
get
raffle ticket.
Yeah, you're getting a raffle. You're trying to get something out of it. It's a lucky dip. A lucky dip from the House of Toys back in the day, something like that. Now, first goal scorer. It's a tricky one. Obviously, 22 players out there on the pitch that could get this, or there could
Probably
be
20 players out on the pitch that could get it.
We've seen crazier things, but statistically, 22 players out on the pitch that can get it, and sometimes there's none that get it. We end with a nil draw, but I've just got a feeling. I've got a feeling that we're going to maybe come out the gate strong, and snag that first goal. And Odegaard, first goal scorer, $10. I thought, shit, that's not too bad. I had a little look at Haaland. $3 and everyone's. I'm sure everyone will be jumping on that. So if I can, Odegaard, first goal scorer, $10. A little bit of value coming our way, hopefully.
Yeah, I like it. It's a good bet. I've kind of just hedged my bets a little bit more than you on this one. I do like the fact that Odegaard will score, but I've let him score any goal of the game. It doesn't have to be the first, and that's going to get you $4.20. So anyone who I guess indulges in a bit of the Mary Jane out there, it's a good bet for you as well there. $4.20.
There you go. Yeah.
Odegaard, he'll score. So that's probably us in terms of the Arsenal there. I think we'll leave previewing that Everton game for the next episode next week.
That'll be next week after we can digest this
big clash against City. But I suppose there's been, over the last couple of weeks, plenty of one-day internationals for the Black Caps. 4 in fact. 1 up against the Pakistanis and 3 against the Indians. Now, we started off there with a good win against Pakistan. If you listened to my tips, you would have come away with a bit of money in that one as well.
Yeah, you're right.
It was a great game. Pakistan set us about 281. Yep, 281 to win. And we were sort of cruising there. Conway and Williamson both making their way to 50, but then another mini collapse in the middle. But didn't matter in the end because Super Glenn Phillips came out and smashed us. Smashed us.
Always
to
seems to be
victory.
able to, get us across the line when we need him, Lenny Phillips.
Yeah, 63 off 42 balls there with the game on the line. It was great stuff, and it was awesome because I think it was our first away one-day series win in the subcontinent since 2008.
Shit,
But that was Bangladesh.
Yeah.
They weren't too flashy.
That's a wee while though, yeah.
It's not often we go over, obviously, to Pakistan because there hasn't really been cricket there apart from the last year, for about 20 years or so. And not often we go over to India and pick up a series win, as was the theme this time around.
Unfortunate, didn't really. I guess we got so close in that first one.
Yeah.
Bracewell going out there, 140, falling short of Gill's 200, or was it bang on 200? Did he get 202 maybe?
Yeah, I think it was just a tick over
something like that. But just 2 outstanding batting performances in this one here. But yeah, really, I guess heartbreaking for Bracewell there for us just to fall short after he manages to go out there and get himself the highest ever score from a black cap in India, which is a pretty bloody good effort from him.
Yeah, it's a young international career as well. Don't believe he's played too many games of cricket over in the subcontinent. I believe this might be his first ever time going over there with the Pakistan and India games. So awesome effort to highest ever score from a black cap in India, but just fell about 10 runs short, which was heartbreaking. But definitely as close as we came in terms of the 3 games there, because the second ODI was an abysmal affair, being bowled out for about 110.
Yeah, not too flash actually. That's what I actually had fully missed this one, to be fair, and you're the one that filled me in. But yeah, not a very good effort here. A very poor T20 score, I think, when you look at that.
Yeah.
That there, a poor T20 score, 110, and so I don't think the lads would have been too happy with this one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely sort of outlines, as I said, our struggles in the subcontinent. But look, the third ODI was a chance to sort of save a bit of pride and gain a bit of confidence going into the upcoming T20 series. But Shubman came to the party again, Shubman Gill, with another 100, and Rohit as well got 100 there, opening the batting, both of them. So a bit disheartening when both the opposition openers get raise the bat for the 3 figures.
Not what you want, eh?
And yeah, it meant they cruised through to nearly 400, which I think we got to about 280, 290 in the end, which on any other given day would have been a bloody good effort.
But when you're chasing that much, that's a hearty score.
It's still a big loss, still a 100-run loss, which was, yeah, I guess disheartening for the bowlers more than anything. But shout out to Devon Conway. If it wasn't for Bracewell a few days earlier, we would have been saying he was the cap with the highest ever score in India, with 138 off about 100 balls there.
Something crazy, yeah.
Awesome to see. He still keeps up his form.
The last month or so, he's either been hitting hundreds or getting out for ducks.
Yeah,
very hell missed there. A few more hundreds than he's had ducks. But no, you're right. Shout out to him, and fingers crossed that we can push on as we move on to these T20s.
Yeah, hopefully we can give them a good crack. I'm not really giving us too much of a chance, but a bit of confidence coming back for those home fixtures that we have would be nice. But we'll talk about those, preview those in a bit more depth once we can digest the T20s over the next few days and see how those go. But I see you're watching intently here.
I've just been checking as we've been going, to be fair. I guess, I don't know, one of those sports I don't necessarily follow maybe as much as I'd like to. Obviously, we are quite lucky, I guess, that we've got pretty handy timings.
Yeah.
In New Zealand with
the games were just on during the day, which was nice. Yeah.
I said it. I don't know. I said it maybe a few months ago. You would have possibly heard, unless you didn't listen that far through, that I've actually had an NBA League Pass for the last, I don't know how long, maybe like
2-3 years.
Yeah, and I've only watched about 4 games, and I've been paying it the whole time. So we will be looking like, just as we finish up here, that the last couple of minutes will be on. So I'll be tuning in, but. 5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. I just checked before. You'd have seen my bloody face do some weird thing. We were like, I think it was 23-4 in the 4th quarter. Yeah, and they've just sort of come back now. But the Coos is going off. He's got 29 points, 8 rebounds. Looks like Gaff's having a pretty hearty game. A couple of players missing. I don't know if KP's injured at the moment. I don't know where he is. I haven't actually seen much, and I know that Bill had been out for a wee while, but 5 minutes to go. We're currently sitting at 21 and 26 up against the Rockets, who we really shouldn't be losing to. I'm pretty sure they're bang dead on last, Yeah, dead last.
Yeah.
And we're in 11th, so what's that? A win gets us up to
22 and 26.
Up to 10th maybe.
Yeah. Bulls will still have a higher percentage, but if they pick up another loss, look at that, win streak 3. So
win streak 3.
4.
Yeah, look at that. I actually didn't. So we're 4 points up against them. We beat the Mavericks yesterday by 1 point. How good's that? And obviously it's a 30 for Coos. Coos is going off. When you got
with 41 points and 15 rebounds,
but he couldn't get them the win. How good's that? I wonder. Oh, actually, I saw this on Instagram. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong in saying this, but I think it was a Daniel Gafford dunk near the end, maybe. I can't remember, to get us the win. But yeah, obviously it's that time of the show where this is probably been our longest NBA segment we've ever had because we've got this live game on, and I'm sort of going on a bit of a ramble here. But there you go, another one, 20-point win against the Magic. So that's 3 on the trot, which we love to see.
Yeah, we're coming off a 4-game loss streak.
And the first game was against you, up against the Knicks, 116 to 105. So a nice solid win there. Kuz looks like he's probably been the hot player at the moment.
Point scorer, yeah.
And it's 4 minutes to go now, and there's still 4 points in it, so we'll see how we go. But it's looking better for the Wizards. It's a nice little win streak, and hopefully we can continue that on. Hopefully. Yeah,
look, the Knicks obviously on the other end of the stick. Well, we bounced back. I think it was yesterday with a win, but coming off a 4-game losing streak, but we're still sitting above 500 there, 26 and 23. So I think that leaves us about 6th or 7th in the conference there. If you just want to give us a quick check.
6th or 7th in the conference. I think that said you were 6th.
7th. Yeah.
7th there, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we're sitting pretty. Certainly prettier than the Wizards over there, but look, still plenty more basketball to be played, and only a few weeks to go now till the All-Star festivities, which are always fun to tune in and absorb. So yeah, stay tuned and go the Knicks, go the Wizards.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully they can continue getting a few more wins and they can push on. But you're right, probably is about all in terms of the NBA, I guess, for now, and we have a little brief parlay into the darts as always. Now, over the weekend, we had the Nordic Darts Masters. Shout out to Fred. He is from Scandinavia, so there was some Swedish blokes out there on show at the Darts Masters over the
shout out the Swedes.
Over the weekend. Now,
obviously, the first car I ever drove was a Swede.
Was a Swede, yeah, you're right, yeah. Now, it was unfortunate. None of the home nations players managed to make it through. Probably best showing there. Dennis Nilsson just losing to Peter Wright in that first round. But we did have the top 8, the main seeds, making it through into the quarters. I didn't actually care. I had a sort of a large one, I guess, on the Saturday, you could say, and managed to get back and watch a little bit of Peter Wright versus MVG, but I wasn't in the best of states to be watching darts, but it was an awesome, looked like an awesome game, and I said to Fred at one stage, I don't know what the score was, maybe 4-3 maybe to MVG, or maybe 5-4, I don't know what it was, something close, and I said, look, you watch MVG go on and win this 10-4 now, and then completely proven wrong. Peter Wright obviously managing to get that win on his way to the title there at the end, coming away with a big win against Gizzy there in the final, but a nice little average. I think that's the best average of the tournament there, just looking through it there, 102 average, so he'd be pretty happy with that, and puts him in good stead for this weekend. When you look in towards what do we have this weekend of? The Masters.
Kazoo Masters.
Now, the draw and the scheduled play is out. Obviously, the top 8 seeds get that free run into the second round there. So that's Smith, Righty, MVG, Gizzy, Humphreys, Rob Cross, Johnny Clayton and Danny Nopper all getting that free run through. And now, a couple of tasty looking matchups there in that first round. I think I'd like to look at Ryan Searle and Chizzy. I think that's going to be a tasty looking matchup there. And also Joe Cullen up against Dobie. I think that's another one there that could be proved to maybe be a bit of an upset. Obviously Joe Cullen won this last year, so he'll be looking to try and push on and have another similar performance this time around. But I like the look of Dobie. I think he's been playing alright recently, so whether or not he can manage to do that, we'll have to wait and see. Now, sort of gone for 3 players that I guess that I like the look of this time around. I think Michael Smith, it's hard to go past him, number 1 in the world at the moment, and obviously he's in some winning form. I think his loss in the semi-finals the other day was his first loss, I think, in 13 games. So, you might be sitting there thinking, fuck, I've gone 25 games in the garage unbeaten before on the knacker, but I think when you're up against the best of the best to go that many games and get 2 titles involved while you're in there is pretty bloody good. So I like the look of him. He's in there at 550, second favourite behind MVG. Then you got Righty. I think, you know, coming off a win, he'll be feeling like he's in some good form and he'll be confident. So he's in there at $9. And if you want a buzzy looking outsider, I've only got one here, but there's actually two. If you want to be thinking he can continue his form and get another win after being the current title holder, Joe Cullen's also sitting here at $41. But I like to look at the Asp. Now I saw on Instagram he'd been in Disneyland over the break, so I don't think there's much more refreshing than going somewhere like that and letting your inner child out, you know, getting on a few rides, getting a Mickey Mouse fucking pancake or some shit like that, and letting loose. So I think he'll be really stoked that he had a nice little breakaway, and I think he'll be feeling fresh. And yeah, I don't see any reason why he can't go out there and get himself a win. He was playing some pretty nice looking darts before the break over the new year, and you know, $41 for someone like that who has won like tournaments before. I think, you know, I like to look at that. So there's three little options there. It kicks off, I'm guessing, Saturday morning our time, and will probably be finished up by Sunday. But no, it looks like it's going to be a good one. And then we've got the Premier League starting up the week after that, so plenty of darts to look forward to, which is always good.
Yeah, good for any darts fan to sink your teeth into. But I think I might take you up on one of those tips there. I think I'm going to jump on Righty, back-to-back titles. We saw Bully Boy do it. Righty's turn, I suppose. $9 as well. It's not too bad. Yeah, I'll take that one. But if that's it for the darts, it's probably us for the week then.
It's probably us for the week. You're right. It's you know, it's good to be back. Like we said, we had a little bit of a hiatus, and we're back here. We're back in action, and we're back bringing you some average sports news, things that you may or may not have been able to catch up with over the last few weeks. But as always, thanks for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, or however you may be tuning into this.
However you consume us.
We hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah. Remember to give us a like or a 5-star and subscribe to the pod, and yeah, enjoy the week ahead. And as we always say, if you're having a punt, do it responsibly. And we'll see you next week.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Marshall skips away, Marshall's still going, Marshall's got Richards coming up outside, now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now world test champions.